Broadcasting live on StarWorldWideNetworks.com. It's time for The Real Deal. Join the ambassador and special guest hosts as they put together great guests and honest commentary on a range of issues. For one of their main topics will be preserving Native American tributes in sports team nicknames. Also avid fans of music and the arts, and they'll always make time for a great song or two. Now, it's time for The Real Deal. Here's your host, the Ambassador.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Real Deal at the famous Star Worldwide Networks in the Camelback Towers in beautiful downtown Scottsdale, Arizona. And yes, we are definitely off the reservation tonight. With me is my producer, Kyle Pratt, the son of the infamous Dave Pratt of Star Worldwide. Say hello, Kyle.
How's it going, Ambassador?
Ambassador's getting his voice back slowly but
Sounds
surely.
like it.
Yep. Also with me is my co-host from Hong Kong, Maggie. Say hello to everybody, Maggie.
Hi, everybody.
Well, good to see you.
Yeah.
She's a jewelry designer from Hong Kong. Has a boutique factory there, and she also sells her jewelry at the Phoenix Symphony and online at jewelryscottsdale.com. Hashtag on Twitter, Hong Kong Sugar. Okay. Had a good week. Everything's all good. Looks like we're going to probably be doing a show at the end of the month in Honduras because I got to go down there, so we'll do like we did in Costa Rica.
Okay.
Through Skype. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So how about Trump and the tax returns? Wasn't that funny?
Yeah, it had me worried last night because it's been such a big talking point for the other side of the aisle, but, it kind of blew up in their face.
Oh, it did. Totally.
Yeah.
It made NBC look like fools.
Yeah.
I mean, total fools.
Yeah, and you found out that people like Bernie Sanders and Barack Obama paid less of a percentage of tax returns than than Trump did in 2005.
They said that Trump has paid more in taxes than the Obamas have paid their entire life.
Yeah, and especially last year, too.
Yeah. What a joke, man. I mean, this fake media, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you got to spread the word to your congressman and senator. We have to repeal the Telecommunication Act of 1996. This is one of John McCain's babies, and he's another traitor. And what that does is it gives the media such power, and these media people, they're all out of New York, and it's really hard to find the truth, And they all go to the same cocktail parties, they all go to the same plays, they all go to the same restaurants. And they all know each other, and they're all in the tank for Clinton, and they're trying to derail Trump any way they can.
And there is a quote I saw by Mark Twain that said, "If you read the newspaper, or if you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. But if you do read it, you're misinformed."
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's
Mark
fake
Twain.
News.
Yep, fake news, man. We want to thank our listeners. And please consider being a sponsor. We need sponsors to stay on the air. Any little bit will help. Graves has been sponsoring us, and that's running out. And now, so we need other people to step up to the plate. So if you know of anybody, have them get a hold of me at 602-540-3000 or info@yellowhorse.us. We got some great guests on tonight. We got a senior advisor to Donald Trump, President Trump, and she's going to be on. And she's been on before, and she'll be on here in just a little bit. And then we're going to have another staunch supporter of Trump and a business associate of mine, and they're both out in the Beverly Hills area, so we'll be getting a hold of them here pretty quick. Download the new app, and then we have a new website. It's StarWorldWideNetworks.com. It's really tricked out.
Yep, it's up and running, and so far so good. It's running smooth and a lot easier for people to access your show.
Yeah.
So check it out.
And then all our shows are archived.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go back and listen to Peter McDonald or whoever you want to listen to. because it's all good. And we want to thank our listeners from coast to coast all over the country, and Americans, Native Americans that listen to our show and don't buy into this political correctness like this fake Indian halbritter. And their new movement is Fake Indian Lives Matter. That's Hal Britter and Elizabeth Warren and Susan Harjo. They're just total phonies, and they're out there trying to make a name for themselves at the expense of Native American culture and imagery, and that's a bad thing. So spread the word. You like us on Facebook, too. You can see us on Facebook. And I'd like to thank our listeners here locally on the Phoenix Channel, Channel 3, anchor Jamie Soretta. She's the Valley Treasure, and she's on Channel 3, as well as the other local channels. American Indian Center of the Great Plains with Johnny Leonard, and him and our principals in that. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to say something in Navajo, and then I'm going to follow it up with Peter McDonald. Now here is Peter McDonald, and he's going to say something to our Navajo brothers and sisters. Peter, if you would.
Yate shas toy sezane setzelke shije the neshike no kliniki o shidi Peter McDonald dashne aska hat zahon slobet ani bashchin ado tsekane dashnale ashi dashche todich in eba setta shada halya kododi anini eba hanne hat no kodoy ambassador Dennis Yellowhorse niji yaltiju yolwol. Akota nini be edeba hanne the real deal will yell. Jo koi hashine land ne says yes yadal lahada ba lahab lahadal now. Die do kot eda. Ebony na hada kisigi kodo the real deal no yahal negi da nini jo edeba honne. Ako ikena aslagi sto banda yolnito banda notra Graves Company will yov la shibe da no Sunday da jo kodo kwishi without di ikena asla kodo kwichi na long kodo hiji yati.
Thank you, Peter. That was Peter McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. He is the former chairman, president of the Navajo Nation. He was considered the most powerful Indian in America. He's my very, very dear friend. He was related to my wife. And he was down here a little over a year ago because he lives up in northern Arizona. And we got him in here, and we did 4 shows back-to-back. And they're looking at our archives, and look for the ones that said Peter MacDonald. And they're back in February a year ago. And they're really, we call them the Golden Bundle, don't we, Kyle?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, these are
perfect name.
Yeah, these are great shows, and the guy speaks from the heart, and he's a very good public speaker, and he's a great leader. And we got him to go to the inauguration for Trump. He was in the inaugural parade, and we have that video on our website and also on the Real Deal Facebook. Did you ever see it?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, no, so it's way cool, man. He's right there, man. And here comes the Navajo Code Talkers. Yeah,
Totally awesome.
Yep, and so he talks at length about how these young kids, when they were, like 18 years old, they were recruited by the Marine Corps to go to Camp Pendleton, which is out by San Diego, and they didn't know, they had no idea that they were going to use their language to develop a code because they didn't want them to know, remember? Mm-hmm. They had no clue. And so when they got out there, they had them all together in a barracks, and they told them they wanted to use their language to develop a code because the Germans and the Japanese were breaking every code that we come up with. So they come up with a code using our alphabet. And let me give you a quick example here. The first letter of our alphabet, of course, is the letter A, okay? So they took the Navajo word for the letter A was the Navajo word for apple, which was belasana. And then the letter B, they used the Navajo word for bear, which is shush. And that was my wife's brother's name. And they took the letter C, and they used the Navajo word for cat, which is mussy. And they just went on down the line, and then they developed these codes. And they had 2 Navajos together out in the battlefield, in a battleship, or wherever the war was, and wherever the theater was, they were there. And they would report back in Navajo to the other two Navajos that were with the commanders. And they tell them in Navajo, we need artillery, we need air support, we need food, we need whatever we need more soldiers, and they did it, very successful. And a lot of people attribute the victory of World War II to these guys. They really do. And they have a museum up in Winter Rock, the capital of the Navajo Nation. They have a big statue down here at the Arizona State Capitol in Phoenix. And there's only 13 of these guys left, and they're all in their 90s. So enjoy it and listen to it, and you'll learn a hell of a lot. I'll tell you that. So now I want to go to my business partner in outside of Washington, D.C. He went to the inauguration with me. He's with Jay Stryker as well as me out of New York. They're one of the big market makers. And we travel together and do creative things to try to come up with jobs and economic development. His name is Mark Burr. Mark, if you would, please.
Claro que sí, don Dennis. Nuevamente, bienvenidos a nuestra audiencia de hispanoparlantes y a todos nuestros patrocinadores, Graves Propane de Flagstaff y YouMade Internacional de Gallup, Nuevo México, y a todos los radio oyentes a través de la nación y del Real Deal y nuestro anfitrión, el embajador.
Thank you, Mark. Now my co-host here is fluent in Cantonese and Mandarin. And we have a lot of listeners and a lot of followers now in Asia, in Beijing, in China, mainland China, Singapore, Hong Kong. And they to the point where several of the groups have been in here to meet with me because they want to know about my businesses and my Humate, my organic minerals that I ship all over the world. And right now they're licensing our products in different countries like Vietnam and Taiwan and different parts of Japan. So it's all good, and it was because of Maggie. And so, Maggie, if you don't mind, say something to our listeners in Asia.
Thanks, Chief. 其實呢個節目係講美國印第安人嘅歷史文化。Washington Post 訪問所有嘅美國印第安人，佢哋都好中意 Western Redskin Kansas City Chief 呢個名，但係有啲華人呢要改變呢個名。真理師黃馬先生為咗保護呢個名呢，佢本人作出咗好大嘅貢獻同埋支持啦。我哋熱切希望得到每一位嘅參與同埋支持。真理師黃馬先生仲賣出售有機土壤叫妖眉。如果有需要打我美國電話6025151073。Thanks so much, Chief, for having me on Real Deal. That's such my honor.
Thank you, Maggie. Star Worldwide Networks, ladies and gentlemen, is the largest, fastest growing internet radio station in the country. They have 200 shows here and 6 million listeners. Kyle, tell them who went to number one.
And The Real Deal did.
That's right. The Real Deal. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. The Real Deal is definitely number one. And the reason for that, a lot of that has to do why we started this show was on behalf of the pro teams that honor Native Americans. And so they spread it amongst their fans and their fans amongst their fans and social media and at the ballparks and all this stuff. And of course we always pay tribute to these teams. So at this time we want to thank the Kansas City Chiefs, the Washington Redskins, the Golden State Warriors, Atlanta Braves, Cleveland Indians, and Chicago Blackhawks, and the Florida Seminoles for listening and honoring Native Americans by using the names. And I always tell people this out on the road and when I meet them, that these pro teams, they can thank God that Dan Snyder, the gatekeeper, the owner of the Washington Redskins, that he stood tough and told them to go to hell because they were after him. This fake Indian halberdier, this scumbag, loser, was after him, and he wouldn't budge. They tried everything, and all these liberal political correctness idiots tried to pick on him and say it was a racist name, racist. And we have schools out here called Redskins and Braves and Indians and Warriors, and all the kids go to the schools of Native Americans. And if we're not offended, then why in the hell should you be? So he stood tough because I'm going to tell you, If the Redskins would have went down, the rest of the teams would have went down like dominoes. So if you value your names, which you should, and we do, and you own the franchise. I don't. Next time you see Dan Snyder, you ought to give him a pat on the back, because I tell you, if it wasn't for him, all hell would have broke loose with you guys. Okay, and I also tell people that this is just a scam, phony civil rights scam, social and cultural genocide against Native Americans. I say that, I believe that, and this is what happened to the Jewish people. Hitler said, burn the books, get rid of the Jews, exterminate them, and we'll just get rid of the race. And that's why these guys, their motive, their underlying motive is to make Native Americans just Americans. So then the big picture is take the land, take the resources, take the water, take everything they own, because they're just Americans. And in 100 years they can do that if we don't stop them. So that's why I want to stay on the air, spread the word, tell the truth, deliver the message. And now we got a guy like President Trump that don't subscribe to this crap either. So that's all good. So now what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we always take a short break and play a song. But before we do that, Kyle, I want you to fire up the Real Deal Airlines, call the pilots, tell them to kick the tires, light the fires, and get us to Beverly Hills.
It's a good choice.
Yes, sir. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our guest that's going to be on here tonight, it's a friend of mine. She's been on several times. She's a very nice lady, her and her husband. And I met her in person at the inauguration. And she is now the President of the United States, SHIELD Executive Board of Director, Council Member, Director of Chinese Outreach. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Mina Holmes. Mina, welcome to The Real Deal.
Hello, hi. Well, thank you very much.
How you been?
Well, very busy, but very excited. Very
too.
happy that President Trump now is elected. But the thing is, now the war has begun.
Yep, the war's begun, and what he has to do, and I say this on the show, is he has to do what he's doing today, go directly to the people, bypass the media, because they're all fake liars, and they're all up there in New York, and they all eat and drink and party together, and they're all liberals, and they don't like Trump, and they had no idea Trump could win. So now they want to try to do everything to undermine his presidency. I'm telling you right now. And John,
Yep,
yes. John McCain's one of them, our senator.
I cannot believe it. I thought he was the war hero, a patriot. I don't know why he's pulling his leg.
He's a political hack. He's an establishment politician. He takes a lot of money from these defense companies, like Bechtel and Caterpillar and Lockheed and all these big defense contractors give him a lot of money. That's
well, but still he doesn't need to betray. I feel like he's betraying his own party.
He is.
His country.
It's like Kyle just said here during the show. He may as well be a Democrat. He's Hillary Clinton's big buddy.
Yeah, might as well. But you know what? Previously, you talked about the lying media. Let me tell you, before Trump was elected, I did have a dream. And the dream, this is a year before his election, the dream was that there was a whole room of media people. And I look at them, they wanted to ask me questions about Trump. And I said, no, because I'm not going to talk, because I knew in my spirit those people would lie. Well, guess what? It turned out to be that way in the last couple of years. That's
Absolutely.
What they did.
Absolutely.
And they continue. Yeah, they just continue. Like yesterday, they was reading the tax return 2005, Trump's tax return. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
It turned out was a big joke. I think they should be ashamed that Trump pays so much taxes that they cannot make in their lifetime.
Well, and not only that, now they're trying to say, oh, Trump is the one that put him out there, as a PR stunt. I mean, these guys are total liars. They couldn't tell the truth if their life depended on it.
Yes.
And that's why we got to repeal that Telecommunication Act. It's like the big banks. We got to break them up.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm glad that you are there championing for it, because we need more stations like yours.
Yeah. Well, thank God for these internet radio stations like Star Worldwide and Tony Famino and these guys, because there's only a small group of us that are out here trying to tell the truth, and the people, and it's hard to find it, and that's why we got the number one show here, because people want to hear what's going on in Indian country, that Indians aren't offended by these names, and then they want to hear that we support Trump.
Yes. Do you remember when Eric Trump came to Ship Rock here?
Yeah.
And
yes.
Yeah, and you remember previously we proposed a Indian proposal with 92 Indian chiefs and the senator and the congressman, and we helped. That's what Tom was the guy that wrote the proposal, and I helped to submit it. And guess what? Once Trump was elected, he did continue. And I cannot give you the detail, but let me tell you, something is coming down the pipe, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. No, I told him, and I was asked to submit letters up there, and I did.
Wow.
And I submitted letters because I'm a businessman. I'm like a little Trump. I'm a businessman. I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman, yes. And I know business inside and out when it comes to doing business with Indian tribes, because I've done it.
Well, yeah, well, good. The people like you that can speak up, we really need to change the law to benefit the lives of so many all nations people. You know, he had to drop the suicide rate and drop the employment rate and bring in the agriculture, bring the technology to change all this.
Yeah, there's so much potential. I had the governor of it's probably the third largest Indian tribe in the United States was in the studio with me last Wednesday, and he had a family emergency. He's going to be back on. Very nice man. His name is Stephen Lewis. And we sat in the conference room for about an hour and talked. And I told him, I says, you know, I told him about, you know, you guys coming on and how I was invited to the inauguration. And I said, my message is take the handcuffs off of Native Americans.
Exactly.
And take the handcuffs off, because what's happened is they were treated as victims. Native Americans were treated as victims in the Bureau of Indian Affairs, which is a division of the Department of Interior, is staffed with all these bureaucrats. And Peter McDonald, who is my friend, and he was the chief of the Navajos for years, he told me this years ago. He said every dollar that's appropriated to help the Indians all over the United States, including Alaska, 82 cents of every dollar goes to run this bureaucracy in Washington, D.C.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. This is verifiable. 82 cents.
Well, this has to change.
Yeah,
this really has to change.
I mean, there's you talk about abolishing a whole agency. That would be one I would say just get rid of it, man, and deal directly with the tribes. You know, go directly to the Indian nations, and they got good, competent leaders. They got good, competent people that work there that are tribal members, and they have their people's interest at heart. And those would be the people that I would, if I was Trump, that's what I'd do. I'd say, hey, we're just get rid of this, and we'll save a lot of money, and the Native Americans will get a lot more money and economic development.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we should call a conference call again. You know, bring the business people and the tribal leaders.
Yeah,
to speak their mind. What's the plan?
You need people. You need people like myself that's business oriented. And then you need people like the elected leaders, the politicians in Indian country, and have a round table of people where you can just start throwing ideas, because Trump will figure it out. His people will figure it out. He's no dummy.
Well, yeah, once all the cabinet people are in, and once all the first, second, third tiers are in, then we know who's in and who's doing what. Then that would be a good time to really gather all the forces and the knowledge together for starting to reform all this, to get rid of the bureaucracy that you're talking about, that eat up all 82% of the dollar.
Right. How was your trip to Taiwan?
Well, it was very good, thank you. I went to meet with the family and also meet with the missions. I'm supportive of missions work around the world. So I met with them for training. So that's very good. Thank you. Well, I really needed that rest too.
Yeah, good. Well, Maggie's here. She wants to say hi. Say hi, Maggie.
哎，你好，你
好，Maggie。Yeah， 我看到你的照片，真漂亮。
哦，你怎么看到我照片？在哪里看到？
他带来给我看的 ，Dennis 带来的。
哦，我也希望有一天可以看到你。他说你和你的先生是个很好的人，你们是好般配的一对。
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I told Mickey that you brought her pictures. It's real pretty.
Yep. I just got back from Costa Rica. I was there for a week on business, because I do a lot of business with Dole, the pineapple people, and their headquarters.
Oh.
You know where Westlake Village is?
No.
It's right north of L.A.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Westlake Village. That's where their corporate headquarters is, but they have their headquarters in Costa Rica is in San Jose. And I sell my product to them in Costa Rica, Ecuador, Colombia, the Philippines. And so I was down there for a week meeting with their soil scientists and got back. And now I'm going to have to go to Honduras at the end of the month, so I'll be broadcasting our show from Honduras.
Wow, wonderful.
Yep. And how's your husband? Is he okay?
Well, he is good, and we just come back from a convention as well. If you can go on our website, PortersShield.org. POTUS is the President of the United States. Shield, SHIELD.org.
Where was the convention at?
Well, the last convention was in Ohio. The next one will be with Rick Joyner in South Carolina, Charlotte, May 25th. If you can get on the website, you can see. We have a lot of great pastors. Cindy Jacobs, Rick Joyner, Lance Warner, all the who's of prophets in the United States will be going there and to pray for the nations.
Is that in April or May or?
No, it will be May 25th to 27th.
Okay, I'll try to come to that. What part of South Carolina or North Carolina you say?
Charlotte.
Dallas.
No, Charlotte.
Charlotte. Okay, Charlotte.
You used to belong to Jim Baker. Now Rick Joyner, has it for years. And they have done great things for the campaign. During the campaign, they were the ones that prophesied that Trump would be the man.
Right.
So they moved a lot of Christian votes. This is the same people now are the key people, councils on POTUS Shield.
Okay.
Like me, I'm one of the councils.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'll try to come to that.
Okay, all right.
Yep, that would be great. Yeah, and then we can catch up. Anyway, everything's all good. We just got to keep praying for Trump, man.
Keep talking about it. We need to keep talking about the issues. For example, the hypocrisy. For example, the 46 judges that were supposed to be let go, but one of them says, "No, I'm not going to. You have to fire me."
Right.
I mean, what's the ridiculous? So Trump couldn't do it. Obama could do it.
Right.
It's okay if they do it. It's okay they talk to the Russians. It's okay that Clinton talks to the Russians.
Yeah.
But geez.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton's meeting with the Russians, and they're trying to blame Trump.
Well, we're supposed to talk to ambassadors. So what do you think a senator is for? Of course, if they have to talk to us, ambassadors about international affairs. Anyway,
these guys, it's so corrupt in Washington, and man, I hope Trump can drain the swamp, because I'm telling you, it's corruption beyond imagination.
Well, people like us will keep raising up our voice, keep talking about it, keep bringing the truth out. I think eventually people will turn around. He will win eventually. But I think the first 6-7 months will be really tough, because he still has a lot of old people in the government, and his own people have not been hired yet.
Right.
And also a lot of judges are still, belongs to the old dynasty.
Right.
And they wouldn't go. And for example, in the case pending right now is the case in Washington about this kid DACA.
Right.
This decision may affect 800,000 people. 800,000 people.
Right.
Of the Mexicans that were brought here.
Right.
So we have to talk about it and pray about it. We pray for the justice and mercy.
And
we cannot do without it.
Yeah, the other thing the media don't want to cover is Trump's law enforcement people under Jeff Sessions. They're going out and arresting these pedophile gangs. And yeah, they're arresting them, and it's all over the Facebook and the internet where they're rounding these pedophiles up and deporting them and throwing them in jail, and the media won't cover it. The media won't even want to talk about it.
Well, I'm not surprised. 8 years of them promoting the really weird concept of abnormal lifestyle. What do you think?
Right.
People think that's normal now, and now we really need to expose this crazy practice.
Yep. Well, we got to spread the word, like you said. Tell everybody that we're out there. We tell them you're out there, and thank God for internet radio, because otherwise nobody know who the hell we were.
Yes. Well, does your listeners know that I'm American Chinese?
Do they know what? Do they know what?
Last time after the conference, I went to New Mexico, and some all nations people saw me. They say, "Oh, I thought you are all nations people." I said, "Okay, I'm not."
Yeah.
But I really care. I really care about the All Nations people.
Yeah, right. No, that's they know, and we always post it on Facebook. But anyway, we're going to have to let you go. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, you've always been a great guest. But before you go, I just want to tell you something here. These people that go out and protest, these paid protesters, and these people that go out and harass Trump supporters, and these people that want to change the names of the teams that honor Native Americans, you know what their problem is?
You can't handle the truth.
Thank you.
Sometimes I grow so tired, but I know I've got one thing I got to do. I ramble on, and now the time is now. Sing my song. I'm going around the world. I gotta find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years till the day. Ramble on, I find the queen of all my dreams. Got no time for spinning. The time has come to be gone. And though our health we drank 1,000 times, it's time to ramble on. How years ago, in days of old, when magic filled the air, just in the darkest depths of Mordor, I met a girl so fair. But Gollum, the evil one, crept up and slipped away with her, yeah. Ain't nothing I can do now. I guess I'll keep on rambling. I'm gonna sing myself. I gotta find my baby. I'm gonna ramble on, sing my song, gonna walk my way around the world, baby. Do, my baby. Ramble on, baby. Do, I can't just feel it in my heart every time. Gotta keep saying, baby. I've gotta keep for my baby.
He's not there. Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, in the studios here. That was Mina Holmes. She is a great lady, and I hope you enjoyed what she had to say. and she's a big supporter, and she has all these Asian people, Asian Americans and non-Asian Americans, just Asians, that are supportive of Donald Trump. And I've seen pictures, and she shares a lot of information with me, and she identifies with Native Americans and the issues that Native Americans face. And I was fortunate enough to meet her face-to-face at the inauguration, and her husband, and Alex and I did, and it was a great honor to meet her. And so we're going to be heavily involved with the Trump organization here, and this is going to be Native Americans for Trump. That shows is going to be about that, and we're going to be very supportive of our president. And because I don't care, people said, well, what about Barack Obama? And I said, you know what? I says, when Barack Obama got elected, I said I didn't agree with him, but I supported him because I don't care who it is. You support your president if you love your country, and I really agree with that. I mean, I believe that from the bottom of my heart. So we got to get behind this man because it's for the better of the country instead of trying to tear him down like this liberal media, this left-wing media. And I call it mainstream media, because 97% of them are in the tank for Clinton and Obama and all the liberals, the liberal agenda, the establishment politicians like John McCain. All these guys have their own agenda, and they just, it's ridiculous, And one thing for sure is they don't give a damn about you and me. I can tell you that right now. They don't care about you and me one iota, and I make no bones about that, and I really believe that. Once they go to Washington, they forget about us. They're bought off, and these lobbies, man, these lobbyists. Oh my God, it's incredible. How much money they give, and for example, the pharmaceutical companies, they're a big-time powerhouse, big-time donor to the Democrats, and they give Hillary Clinton hundreds of millions of dollars, and so they want Obamacare. They want Obamacare, and Obamacare here in Arizona is a disaster. Did your mom ever find you guys insurance?
Oh no, I think the last insurer just left or something. I think we were with Blue Cross or something.
Oh, do you remember
and they went out.
Do you remember the two were in here several months ago? The mom.
Yes, I do.
Well, they're getting me insurance.
Oh, really?
But it's through a Christian network.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah. And the Christians, they can't call it. They have a different word, but it's insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctors honor it, and you got deductibles and co-pays and everything, and you can go to your own doctor. But it's through a group of Christian organizations like churches,
mm-hmm.
That are coming out, rolling out this plan where you can get insurance through them. And I did. I called them the other day, and I thought,
it's the only option, really.
There is no other option.
If you're a small business, you're screwed.
Yeah, or an individual.
Especially in Arizona.
Yeah, in Maricopa County.
It's the worst in Arizona.
In Maricopa County is the worst in the country. A lot of them just pulled out.
Yep.
They said, we're done. I lost, at the end of the year, I had the best insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and boom, away they went.
Yeah.
So, and everybody's the same boat. And so
it's almost better for you even not to have it.
Yeah,
because
you got to have it. I mean, if something goes wrong, it could wipe you out financially.
Oh yeah.
You could lose everything you own.
Yeah,
and I have to have it because my businesses and stuff. And
oh yeah, we have to have it. I know some people that said they're better off not paying for it.
Yeah,
they just don't even have anything, which is sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I was listening to the radio tonight coming over here, and it was a local KFYI, and there was guys calling in saying we don't have insurance.
Yeah,
because they said we can't find it, we can't find anywhere to get it. So these people are and so far they said, hey, it's working out great because the people they have on the plan actually they check to make sure that the claims are getting paid and there's no kinks, there's nothing going wrong. They can go to their hospital. They can go to their own doctor, and so far so good. So I'm hoping.
Well, I'm hoping one of the good things that Trump has mentioned in the new plan is that you can buy across state lines.
Right.
Which would
competition.
Help. Yes.
Trump's smart enough or he's going to come up with competition.
Yep.
The thing I worry about, and I listen to Hannity a lot.
Me too. Yeah.
And Hannity, he rakes them all over the coals, man. I mean, he calls a spade a spade. And this guy, Ryan? Is that his name?
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaker of the House. Yeah.
He is trying to push his own plan.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these guys are saying, "Hey, wait a minute. That's not what we bargained for here."
Yeah.
And that's just Obamacare light.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody come on and said, "Well, see, he's an establishment politician. That's a given." And Lou Dobbs really raked him over the coal. Lou Dobbs last night went on the air and said he should resign.
Well, before Trump became the Republican nominee for the presidency, Paul Ryan was one of the people that was against him.
Yeah, did you hear that? His recorded message?
No.
It was on Lou Dobbs last night. It come out yesterday. Somebody put a message out to the media. Evidently, he had a conference call with a bunch of Republican buddies of his, and he was before the election, and he was bad-mouthing Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, I'll never support Trump. We can't support Trump. We can't let this guy in here. And it all come out yesterday, and Lou Dobbs just hammered him on it. And they were playing it on the show, saying, what a two-faced guy he is.
Yeah, well, they'll do anything.
But you see, what's happening is he's been there too long, and he's never done anything except take money from these political groups.
Snake.
Yeah, he's just a total snake, and they give him money to support their agenda, and this is just some more of their agenda.
Yep.
And that's why you got guys, and I admire guys like Rand Paul, even though I don't agree with him. He's a libertarian, I guess, but I don't agree with him totally. But but he'll at least call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And he called McCain out, and McCain called him out today and said he was working for the Russians. Can you believe that?
The Russian thing keeps going on, and the more it's being talked about, the older it gets. Because
it's all smoke.
Especially with it's the cover up for America's the government here to do what they want.
Yeah,
and when they get caught, they say it's Russia.
Yeah, they point the finger to Russia.
Yeah.
And
then Russia's like, whoa, what the hell? We didn't even do anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And this guy with WikiLeaks, man, he just keeps dumping stuff. And look how out of control the CIA is.
Yeah, it's not even.
They can't even protect their own secrets.
No. Yeah.
Much less anybody else's.
Yeah. Well, I just got a note from Alex saying that we can try giving him a call here.
Okay, let's get him on for a few minutes.
Okay.
Hang with us, ladies and gentlemen. Why don't we tee up our other song while you get him on?
All right.
Okay, we're back. That was Led Zeppelin tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to go to our other guest and my business partner, Alex Agnos from Beverly Hills. Alex, how you doing, brother?
How are you? How's the weather out there in Phoenix?
Beautiful, man. I'm just looking out here over the Camelback Towers and Scottsdale. It's just absolutely gorgeous, man. So you guys, you and the cheerleader got to come see us.
Oh, yeah. Pretty soon we're going to be out there. We got some things going on.
Right, yeah. I talked to Bally today. I guess we got a lot of interesting things going on. You just got back from Austin, right?
I sure did. And South by Southwest is going on. It's crazy out there.
Well, that's good. We had Mina Holmes on the first part of the show. Remember Mina?
Oh, I love Mina.
Yep. She's got a position now with President Trump, and she's the one of the executive director. I'll read it here to you. She's with the President of the United States Shields Executive Board of Director Council member, Director of Chinese Outreach.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's got an official position, and she invited us to go to. They're having a big meeting in Charlotte, North Carolina, in May. So she wants us all to come. We should go to that.
Oh, well, definitely. Let's pencil that in, and I'll be there for sure.
Yeah. I think that would be very beneficial because she's making a lot of headway, and she wants to connect with us and help, bridge the gap between Trump and the Native American communities.
Oh, that would be great. We really, really, really love her. I met her in D.C., and what a wonderful human being she is.
Yep, she's a very nice lady. So, what's the protesters saying in California now?
It's actually so funny because what they're doing now, the Democratic Party, is they're using this whole platform of fight against Trump, fight Trump because of fascism, and I mean that's the last thing Trump is, the fascist,
Right.
So they're basically they're using that as a vehicle to cause violence and things like that. Of course, we have a lot of paid protesters out there. Half these people don't even know what they're talking about because I've met with a bunch of them and they don't even know what they're talking about. They have no clue on the history of politics. It's quite funny.
Have you
this whole thing with Rachel? Did you see this whole thing with Rachel Meadows?
Yeah. Isn't that funny? It backfired.
That just goes to show how dumb these so-called journalists are. They're not even reporters. They're just actors, reading off a script.
Yeah, and they're so stupid that they think we're going to fall for it. Like today on the radio here, on local radio, I was listening, coming over here to the studio. Her new name is Mad Dog Meadows. Mad Dog Meadows.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, Mad Dog Meadows. What an idiot, man. I'll tell you. They're all. And then I think it was you that sent me a link this morning where all the CNN people were freaking out.
Oh, they totally are. Here's what a lot of people don't understand is, since Trump's been in office, there has been over 1,500 pedophile arrests throughout the country. I
know. I said that tonight earlier in the press.
It's huge. Yeah, it's a really big deal. And a lot of these people, because I'm not going to get into the whole Pizzagate thing. It'll take too long. But there are a lot of well-connected people in D.C. that are part of this. And let me tell you, some heads are about to roll this year, and that's why they're fighting Trump, even his own party. I mean, he's got enemies in his own party.
Oh, absolutely. And the number one enemy is that John McCain.
Well, John McCain and Kasich, these people are all traitors.
Yep, they're all traitors. Absolutely. They are total traitors.
Absolutely.
I was, I got to admire this Rand Paul. I don't agree with him politically on a lot of his stuff, but he calls a spade, and he went against Paul Ryan and this Ryan Care, this new bill that they're trying to push through to replace and repeal Obamacare. But today, just here about an hour ago, I was driving up the road and McCain, he went after McCain when McCain was bad-mouthing Trump. He went after McCain and told McCain he should just shut up, and stay out of it. And so he went after McCain went after him today and called him he works for Vladimir Putin. He's a Russian spy. Can you believe that?
Oh, let me tell you something right now. McCain and a bunch of others, I think, will be in orange jumpsuits before. I'm going to say maybe. I mean, this is a possibility. This year, I hope.
Yeah, there was a guy last night I watched on Lou Dobbs, and he's like an ex-CIA expert, and he said he got on there, and I mean the guy really spoke with authority, and he said this is going to make Watergate look like a Little League game. Well,
I'll tell you right now, if you go and see what Obama did 17 days before he left office, a lot of stuff's going to start coming out because Obama and Hillary are part of all this.
Yeah, they totally were caught off guard for Trump to win, and now they're trying to do everything to railroad him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what people don't know is that there 100% is a coup and a shadow government, against Trump. And Obama wasn't walking out of there, let me tell you, just walking away from this, because that's why he stayed in D.C. He's connected to these paid organizations.
Right.
And these organizations are backed up by George Soros and people like that.
Well, look at the article. I don't know if you sent it to me or who sent it to me about they're paying these Sioux Indians up in Standing Rock to go out and protest. And a good friend of mine last night, his niece his brother is a white guy. He married a Sioux girl, and he called me from Albuquerque. And he said, my niece is concerned about these pipelines and all this stuff. And I says, which pipeline are you talking about? There's only 10,000 or 50,000 pipelines up there. So I sent him the map of all the pipelines. He said, man, I didn't know there's that many pipelines. I said, hey, this is all bullshit. I said, these people are being paid to protest, man. I said, just dig in and find the truth, And
these pipelines with today's technology and the way they put these things together, they're more safer than these things going on the railroad tracks.
Absolutely.
That Warren Buffett is controlling, as we know.
Yeah, and so it come out about 5 days ago. I shared the story with him, and I don't know if it was you that sent it to me or somebody sent it to me, but the Warren Buffett Foundation donated to these people, and we all know that. But then the Rockefellers and all these elitist foundations, and people that I don't even know who they are, had donated millions to these people. And they said, well, there's this lawyer, he wants to come on your show. His name's Tom Red Wolf or something like that. I said, yeah, don't call me. But I said, I'll guarantee you one thing. He ain't working pro bono. He's getting paid.
Well, why don't they get all those protesters to take their ass back up to Standing Rock and clean up all their trash they left behind?
I know. Just like we seen in Washington, remember? All the trash that the protesters left?
Oh, it was disgusting. I was quite shocked. I mean, I wasn't shocked because it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it sure shocked the hell out of those two little old ladies on the bus with us and the bus driver.
So here's the thing. The media's lying to everybody. We all know that. That's why Trump reaches around the media and he goes to Twitter and all these other things. He has no choice because the media is full of crap. They're burying all these serious news articles that they should be talking about. They're totally burying them. And all they got is Russia, and this guy's a fascist and a racist. He's not a racist. He's not a fascist. Anybody and everybody who knows Trump over the years, the man is not a racist. And he's doing more he'll do more for the LGBT community and for women's rights than any of these other politicians ever have. I guarantee you that.
Right. Yeah, I think what'll happen here is in about a year, he'll have a lot of fights all down the road, but in about a year, when people start seeing his accomplishments, then they're going to say, we ain't got nothing left.
Well, I'll tell you this. We haven't seen this much noise from the Democratic Party since Lincoln.
That's right. And
this is the truth. Yeah. This is the truth.
And Lincoln was a Republican, and Lincoln is the one that freed the slaves.
Absolutely, and that's why the Democrats were pissed off. People don't know their history they don't know their political history. If they did, they'd know Jim Crow, all this stuff, the KKK. That's all from the Democratic Party. What's a good? I want to get Dinesh D'Souza on your.
Oh, I'd love to
show.
have him, and that lady. Her last name's Gabriel.
Oh, you got to get Bridget Gabriel on too, because she's amazing. This woman is. She'll tell you all about the Middle East. Of course, she lived there.
Yeah, I absolutely enjoy watching both of them, and see if you can reach out to them.
Well, I'll definitely put my feelers out, because of some of the people that we're going to be meeting have ties to these people. So it's going to be a good thing.
And I'll tell you, the lady that I was impressed with the other day, Kate Fallis. Remember Katie?
Kate's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Didn't she get a letter up to Trump for you?
Yep, she delivered it to the Trump Towers. I FedExed it to
her.
Right
on.
And she hand-delivered it. But anyway, she sent me something about, and I was shocked. It was about George Clooney's wife. And George Clooney's wife went against him and said, these ISIS are a bunch of killers, and we need to do more to stop them. And she's a Palestinian, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Real beautiful woman. And she was at the UN, raising hell, sticking up for Trump. Did you hear about that, Kyle?
I did not know.
Yeah, her name is Emil Clooney.
Yeah. I see a divorce happening in that department.
Yeah. George Clooney, what an idiot. Here he is going for Clinton, and she's out there going for Trump.
Well, you know what they don't talk about is what happened to the Haitians in Haiti.
Oh, I know. That's horrible.
The Foundation did to that. What they did to those poor people over there, what's still going on over there, nobody talks about it.
Yep.
It's sad. It's a shame.
They ripped them off big time.
Oh, there's people dying over there.
And then Hillary Clinton's brother has all the mining rights to all their minerals, right?
Well, not only that, but there's some serious allegations that are going to be coming out about child trafficking coming right out of Haiti as well.
Yeah. What Trump has to do is stay on offense. He has to. He has to stay on offense and start and tell Sessions to start indicting these assholes, and then pretty soon put them on defense. And then when you find these leakers, throw them in jail.
Well, the reason why they don't want Sessions in there, they want to get rid of him, is because he's going after this pedophiles, and he's going after a lot of these people. I'm telling you, this guy is going to clean house for sure.
Right. Well, they got to. But that's what he has to start indicting him. I was watching Pat Buchanan the other night on Tucker. I think it was Tucker or one of them. And he was on there saying the same thing, man. Start throwing their ass in jail. He says, when Watergate hit, it was 7 months, and they were convicted. All these Watergate burglars were convicted and thrown in jail in 7 months. They were indicted, indicted and convicted.
Something I cannot even believe some of these people aren't in handcuffs yet. So
That's
we'll
right.
see.
That's what Trump has to start putting the hammer down and get Sessions and them to start indicting him and prosecuting him and just go after him, because they ain't going to stop.
Oh, no, you're right.
And the best offense or best defense is a good offense, Oh,
absolutely. Look, Trump has done more in his short term in office than Obama has in 8 freaking years. He's already created over 200,000 jobs already.
And look at the stock market. How many? $3 trillion?
This is the best the stock market's been in years.
Yeah, and all these idiots predicted, if Trump gets in, it's going to crash. It's the end of the world.
No, for real.
Yeah.
Look at Mark Cuban. what he said. He had to eat his words, too.
Yeah,
These guys are all fools. These actors, they don't even know what they're talking about. They live in bubbles, man.
Yep, they do. They're a bunch of dopes. Hey, well, listen, we're running out of time. Call me tomorrow because I want to give you an update, and then we can talk biz.
Oh, absolutely. I'll call you tomorrow. We got some great things. Our samples came in. Wait till you see them.
Okay, man. Yeah, I love the Yellow Horse cigarettes, man. They look cool as hell.
All natural tobacco, 100% made in the U.S. We're going to kill it.
Okay, man. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, you got it.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end of the road here. I always like to say at the end that I want to thank all of our people in the armed services, our first responders that keep our country safe and here, home and abroad. And please consider being a sponsor because I'm just here to tell the truth, deliver the message because the truth's hard to get out there nowadays. And you can always get a hold of me at yellowhorse.us or info@humate.com. My organic company is humate.com. And if you have any organic needs, there's some great opportunities there if you're business-oriented. 602-540-3000 for advertising on The Real Deal. Maggie, thank you for being here tonight. Would you like to say goodbye to everybody?
Yes, thank you for having me.
Good. That's very good. Okay, Kyle, let's wrap it up. But before we go, I want you to tell everybody all over the world that's listening to our show why the hell I'm here.
To kick ass and save names, bastard.
See you next Wednesday.
Thank you for listening to The Real Deal. Tune in to The Real Deal with the ambassador and special guest hosts every Wednesday at 5 p.m. and on demand 24/7 right here on Star Worldwide Networks.